bringing you into my work zone, and that means I'm going to start here in the dark for all you coming in who are battling suicide, depression, suppression, trapped in mental health labels. And as this is a whole new concept of me being over here on YouTube, I thought I would introduce you to many aspects, spectrums of Kelly Rotten, Kelly Cotton, Kelly, whatever they call me. Many people call me many things. What do you call me? Who is the woman in the shadows, in the dark? Obviously, you've seen my YouTube, you know what I look like, you know this is nothing more than an intervention on you. Not me, because I can cut my own hair. Well, no, actually. So today, I am now back. I've now upgraded. I'm on iPhone 7 something now. So I can connect with you at greater speed, better. I also have a new tech guy today, and it's this person who's been helping me out with my phone. And not just that, he's just a middleman for all of the people here. He knows everything. He knows who runs what business, who's doing what, who's this, who's doing that. You know, he's so connected here. You know, he's the man on the electric scooter, and no, he doesn't wear a mask. So even in the shop, he doesn't wear a mask. So I'm okay in the shop with my kids. So that's good. And hopefully this relationship is going to be really good. So he's coming around on Thursday. He's already seen that I've got my TV connected up to a broken laptop, which I use for the YouTube, which is what you can hear the music on in the moment. The boys are asleep. They're so sweet. They're cuddled up. I'm going to be turning the light on in a minute, but I thought I would come on to what I do pre coming on. So I have to crack all my joints. You can see the motion and what I'm actually showing you. I'm not actually dancing. I'm showing you EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. The range. That's what I'm showing you. So I'm showing you my shoulders, all sublocks. My right shoulder dislocates, my left shoulder, look, you ready? So apparently, I fake Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And also, I'm so sick that my children will grow up to be my carers, that Flintshire County Council decided to force adopt my daughter, who has the same condition, born with it, my son Aaron also with the condition, as do all of my children. It's a 50-50 chance of me contaminating, spreading my children with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Another story, another time. So who's feeling suicidal? Who's battling the voices of the demons, the dark ones? Fear. And I won't even go to my legs because I've not got the right dress on for this today, and I haven't got my... So hello there guys, back in the room with Kelly Cotton, Kelly Rotten, conspiracy theorist, truth teller, seeker, finder, knowledge breaker, knowledge broker, seeker of the truth, knowledge of wisdom. Just want to get on and have a peaceful life really, and raise my boys, and you know, have a good honest income that keeps us in a nice environment and home, and seeing butterflies and talking to cats and stroking and petting dogs and walking by the sea and looking at history and future. And so, who's here? Say where you're from, who you are, why you're watching, what you're here to get from me, what you're here to give to me, whether we are exchanging knowledge, coming together in a collaboration, why I have to show myself to you, why I have to reveal the person behind just the mother who had a kids token. Only my kids ever saw me dancing, by the way, other than the clubs, of course, and a few escorting clients, of course. Never pole danced, never stripped, apart from my husband. And yes, I did escort my way through my second year of university, because the bastards expelled me because of respiratory problems with my EDS, and I was about to fucking lose everything. I lost all my support, housing benefit, DLA, because I was going to the gym, I was training, I was getting my ass out of a wheelchair, getting my braces off, shit with my ex-husband, and bang! What was a mum of two always meant to do? Sink? Have my kids gone? What was I meant to do? It didn't make me a whore. It made me a mother who was willing to throw up, sink to complete place of desperation, live two identities. Only a few people knew the one person who was Kellyanne Shan. Only my clients knew Shan. My very, 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 very personal friends, my babysitters knew, and my two boys actually knew that when I went out the door and I entered into another road, that I became Shan. I wish you could actually hear my joints. They are literally just cracking everywhere. My GPs and doctors would tell me off, by the way, because when you're diagnosed with EDS, you're then told everything that you're not allowed to do. My carers used to take me clubbing. And they used to say, isn't she in a wheelchair? They used to say, yeah, in a wheelchair, she'll be sleeping. Well, she'll be in the garden for the next 2 days. So yeah, every other weekend the boys went to their dad's, and every other weekend they were at home with me. Thing is, in clubs, you can't dance, can you? Because what do men do? They think they can grape you. And now, us women, we haven't even got to just worry about the men. We got to worry about the dykes too. Fuck me. It's time for the underground, mate. To go back underground. Because you ain't coming up here in our world, you get it? Go back home. Go back to your lairs. Go back to your dark, seedy places in the corners where we'll still shine the light on you, but get it off our streets, get it away from our kids, get it off the internet, and get it out of our homes. We're polluting the youth. I've got 15-year-old kids here banging out crack and cocaine and whatever these little things are that I keep finding all over the floors. They're like, I used to think they were little bullets. I used to collect them from my older boys, thinking I was bringing home little old bullets from at one point. That's how naive I was before I met Stephen. Well, I was naive when I met Stephen. Even my friends tried to tell me the difference between morphine, which is what I was on, and methadone, which is what he was on. No, two very different painkillers, honey. Two very different lives. Gonna come and enjoy my beautiful, beautiful view. Let me take my charger out so I don't know how much battery I've got. There is the council. There's the bells that you can hear is City Hall. Behind them trees there. Please nobody take these trees down. I love my trees. It blocks what I can see behind this road. The police station that's going before us. Then you've got the magistrate courts, then the CPS, then the courts of justice, and then over the bridge it goes over to the main square, which is where social and everybody and all the council is, and the town hall, and then obviously it goes off into the town or off down to the sea. That is it. Just this little box here is what controls the whole of Portsmouth. This little box here. Now it is sparting around Portsmouth now. It's building little hubs everywhere. It's very interesting watching Portsmouth. One, it was the place I was born, so I have a personal root here. I have a place of ownership here. They can't tell me I can't be here because I can say I was born here. Okay? So I don't care if I don't have connections here. I don't care if I don't have local connections that give me rights to be here or a job here or I'm not at a university here. I'm just here, observing, watching, looking, walking around, talking, asking questions, getting to know people, emailing Helen, the PA for the chief executive, every time I see a problem around here. We have such an emotional conversation. She's such a lovely woman. She is a blessing. In fact, I would say that most of the councillors and MPs and people's teams, most of them volunteers or people of retirement that give their time, help and things like that, even in the magistrates' courts, even the judges, bless their cotton socks, have raised their children and have donned their socks and have probably been in the military or maybe have served as a doctor, done their time, gone and been a magistrate. There's a different perspective that people aren't looking at. If I run as an MP, yeah, my phone then starts getting tapped. Have you noticed now I'm not using this phone, which is the one that the social workers brought me. My phone is not going. I don't know what this is. My tech is going to be looking into it. I've asked him, am I paranoid? If I tell you all these different things that have happened, and we went right back to my live where I rang Buckingham Palace. And I said, Queenie, you've not got the ball. You need to give your son an oops upside the head, mother to mother, grandmother to grandmother, I'm a grandmother, so grandmother to grandmother, you cannot, and I do this on recording, by the way, they know this, security just literally sits there and puts it on record, and if I say anything that's a little bit amiss, because don't forget, you know, I've spent a lot of time outside Downing Street, I've spoken to a lot of the guards, don't forget, at one point, one of the reasons that I would go down so late in July, one, that was pitched by Scott, it wasn't created by me, it was a date that was created by the Scott platform that exists a couple of years before me, but at the same time that I went out into the media in 2010. At the time, it was ran by David Jenkins and Sam somebody. I'm not ready to turn. I'm actually talking to you while coming out of my mind, and I'm going to come over to you properly in a minute, and I'll talk to you properly. But I decided that on my YouTube channel that I would not be professional. I would not come on here with this whole false pretense of, look at me, I'm out in nature, look at the cat and the birds and all of this scripted stuff. When I was on the Success Resources platform, not as a speaker, but as the person that was enabling and empowering people from behind and working with the trainers and the dance crew and the lights, and had a massive, amazing family of people that really loved and adored me and my children in that world. And we basically all served a guy called Tony Robbins. And happy to do so, even more so now. Still, I would say that I would serve Tony Robbins in this world. But not him as a person, but the teachings that have transpired over the years and the years by other people. But what happens with coaches is they become 40-minute regurgitated shit. And they say the same thing. So when you bring a book out, you then go out on a platform and you basically have to say the same script over and over again. And all you're doing is getting people in the room to sell them a product. Well, I never wanted to be that person. Me and Sandy, who was one of the tutors at university, at the University of Central Lancashire, when I was doing my psychology degree, she and a couple of other psychologists there and psychotherapists had a massive issue with the coaching industry, the trainer and coaching industry, because they said it was nothing more than just modelling off of something, regurgitating something that they actually had no power or experience about and hadn't earned their right to be teaching these things. Now, somebody else, one of my personal friends, said something to me the other day, and it was about oh, don't forget, if I put music on in the background, it's because I'm waiting on Facebook. I don't know what happens on YouTube. YouTube's actually done another recall. So basically what I try to do is find out who the music is in the background, who owns it, and where is it coming from. Why do I do this? I do this because at the end of the day, Hollywood, bye-bye. The children modeling, acting, performing, showcasing, manipulating, grooming, fucking, sodomizing, tramping and trashing children is over. If you're caught, you're going to be doing not just time. I think there's going to be a public inquiry into each and every individual matter now, because we can't sit there watching these secret courts that don't release information because it's meant to protect the child. It's meant to, and I understand this. As a child who went through sexual abuse, when I ended up on the window ledge, I was fuming. I was fuming that it ended up in papers, because even though they didn't actually name me, they still caused more drama than was needed, because I was going through an internal battle. When people see the external of what somebody's going through and they go, oh, drama, or blah blah blah, or you're being negative or not like that, it's not that. That's not the case. It's no different than a tree that is grown but that produces fruits. You know, the tree is amazing and beautiful, and you know, sometimes the apples aren't great and sometimes they are, but it's still the same tree. Now, if the tree was rotten, it would produce rotten fruit. You know, so what do you do when something is rotten to the core? You have to, and as I keep saying, all this country's doing is putting plasters over gangrene. You can't do that. You can't refuse to take off. Like, I mean, fuck fucking politics right now, seriously. Look, they're just out for another political freaking vote right now. They ain't even knocking on your door and saying, look, who are you? What are you about? What do you think of the country right now? What do you think of this things? They're just literally walking around with their own agendas and their own job descriptions because mummy and daddy said they had to be something or they had to prove to be something. Some people get into it because they care. Some people get into it because it's written for them. Same as being barristers, lawyers, doctors, bankers, wankers, corrupt, murderers. Some people are genuinely born into it. Just like some people are born into daddy raped this one and this one rapes this one and they continue to do so. Or people became these child models and actors who then came into this world, which people all understand Epstein, yeah? So you can come here with me in my head now, yes? So when I talk about Epstein, you can go, okay, I get where she's coming from right now. So, okay, let's talk about Epstein and use Epstein. Epstein's nothing more than just one fucking of these little boys. Freaking, what's his name? Bloody bunny girl thingy-majig. Hugh Hefner was worse than him. And we don't talk about Hugh Hefner. We don't talk about the fact that, a lot of the people that are married were married to people from the ages of 13, 14 and 15. And we don't talk about this stuff. Why? Because, well, my mum was 15 and my dad was either 17 or 19. I don't know, one of the two. Either way, he was still, crossing the lines. Where is this line? Where is this line? The WHO want to talk to children about masturbation in a classroom. No. As a mother, I have always talked to my boys and my daughter, which was even harder. As I have always said, when my daughter was born, I looked at the midwife when I had to wipe her and said, like, what do I do? And she's like, but you've got like 3 boys. Like, what do you mean you don't know what to do? It's like, well, how do I ever stop somebody taking my daughter's innocence away? How do I protect her from this? And I remember really crying back in, and I was watching that video over the Congo with that 3-year-old girl, and I was holding my little baby. She was 7 months old. You know the age, it was when, just prior or after the media, it was around that time. I know it would have been before, and I was holding her thinking, wow, girl, I've got to let you out my arms. I've got to let you out my arms. And I've got to let people around you that I've got to trust. Not even once do they violate that trust when it comes to my children. Not even once. Not sexually, not physically, not emotionally, not medically. I have EDS, potentially on the spectrum, Asperger's children. It comes hand in hand. My mum fights it because she has to admit that she's an Asper herself. The sooner she does, the better. Then she can stop telling everybody I have mental health when she sees the things that she actually admires in me, in her. But they would be the things that people saw as problems in her that she never got to express. My mum is the most amazing, talented artist, like, wow, and designer and, creative and law and reading and speed reads. And I mean, my mum is an awesome woman. She's just a cunt to me, but she's an awesome woman. I wouldn't deny it. I don't care whether she's a lesbian, straight, how many husbands she's had or whatever, but as a woman who's not claimed benefits, who's been independent from her family, since sort of like, having to battle holding on to, a daughter, and also having to come and pick me up every other weekend from my dad's, to another woman raising me. At a time, I don't know. People say that single dads didn't exist, but women have been dying from childbirth for years. So a lot of forced adoption actually comes from working fathers that just couldn't raise them, or grandmothers took them on, or fathers actually did take take it on and did work and did raise their little girl or their little boy because mummy died at birth. You know, people don't look at the bigger picture when you're going through something. You only look from things from your own perspective and your own angle, and that makes it very narrow, very, very blinded, very blinded, very blinded, very blinded. We will never, ever, ever see the bigger picture. We have no one of us is created to see everything down to the dynamics of how the root of this tree exists to its touching into the space, into the sky. You know, even Elon Musk probably is so driven only into the particles that he wants to understand and the matter that he wants to go in and the formation that he wants to create within the neurons and atoms and, you know, what do you want to go into? Do you want to go deep into perpetual transmutation? Do you want me to do a live on perpetual transmutation? Do you want to know what perpetual transmutation is? You know, another conversation, another time. Perpetual transmutation, Google it, energy. Everything is, everything forms, everything comes through words, through mind, through thinking, through power. You know, one of the most amazing things about watching the Paralympics and being part of the Olympics and stuff back in 2000 and, well, most of my life, to be honest, but I've been in that athlete world through my kids, through myself, through work, through products, health products, stuff like that, coaching, mentoring. You know, I do have a healthy mindset, even with this EDS label diagnosis from this person from EDS and this person from Danlos, two different people who probably got a Nobel Prize award, you know, that I'm defined by, and that really fucking annoys me. And if I could pay privately for everything and just pull the people around me and go, hey, I don't need you to care about me, I just need you to fix me. You know, I don't need you to give a shit about me. I don't need you to be in my life. I don't need you to, you know, be holding my hair when I'm throwing up or if I'm having respiratory problems or breathing issues. And if I end up in a wheelchair, I'm not asking you to push me. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just asking to be able to pay for being independent all the way through this. All the way through this. I'm only 42. And it's not beating me yet. I always said, every consultant, I say, look, I can't tell you about the first 3 years of my life, but what I can tell you is my mum is 15, 16 years older than me. And if she's got the same condition and she's still out there and going, then, you know, you can't really tell me anything because I'm not printing on you. I'm printing on my mother, and my mother has the same condition. Therefore, I can trust my mother when it comes to things. And I used to annoy her because I'd want to read her books but obviously kids damage things and mums want to look after things and they don't want their you know, the CDs broken because I've got kids and she keeps them pristine and her books pristine because she then resells them off and I fold over and write in them and stuff, you know. So that's where me and my mum differ, you know, and clash. But you know, at the end of the day, everything that's going on, it doesn't really matter, because if we're in the fear of it, if we live in the coexistence of the creation that they want, which is to be in fear, then they've won. The only way that they lose is for you to come out of that fear, understanding that fear is an illusion. It's just a false creation of something that hasn't happened, may never happen. The probabilities of it actually even happening is probably only one in a million chances, but you're still going to live in the fear of that, like a firework going up. But it does happen. My sister, she was set alight by firework. It went right off down into her. But aren't we told, keep your hoods up, don't have your hoods back? You know, we're given that warning at fireworks when you're watching, don't have hoods open. My sister, you know, my stepfather, my whatever he is, you know, didn't put my sister's hood up. And she probably wouldn't have wanted to because it wouldn't have been cool. But the firework went straight in and straight down and took straight in through and her neck, and she's had the skin grafts and from so it does happen. You know, 1 in a million chance that my sister was the one that the firework come down on. But it does happen. But does that mean you don't go to firework events? Because there is that chance that it's going to come down on someone somewhere, even if it is just a tree or a leaf or a grass. It's going to cause damage somewhere. I mean, I actually can talk about this to a certain level, and I'm not talking about the fact that actually once they're coming down, they actually tend to be cold because they go cold up there and then they come down okay half the time. I actually have a fire safety certificate. I actually qualified to set up through events for Leyland. So yeah, I've done that. There's a lot that I've done because I was an event coordinator. That was what I was building. Unity in the community. It was about events. It was just that I was getting so pissed off with the amount of families sitting around with drink and alcohol and the smell of weed and seeing people fucked out their head. And I just thought, there's no need. There's no need. There's no reason. And then I'd go to these Christian places where, you know, in the open this stuff didn't exist. But if you went down the back, you know, the Buddhists were there who were having a bit of a chonga and a joint, and you know, and there was somebody who had a bit of a drink. But you know, and so it's how you exist in the world with what's going on around you. I find it really interesting here because I'm getting to know more and more and more of the old alcoholics. They're coming out now. So like I've met this woman who's on the 17th floor. She's got a grandson and everything. She's great. She's cool. She's old school, mate. You ain't touching her grandson. Seriously? Oh, I love it. I love it. She said to me, they tried, they watched this, they check up on him, he's fine. No, he's a scraggly little kid that you can tell probably could have had a better chance if he'd been taken away, but he loves his nana. He loves his nana. And yes, she goes around, she picks fag butts up, and yes, she's bubbling fag butts up, and yes, she's got a can in her hand, and yes, she's scoring, but she's a fucking epic grandmother. She's even lovely to me and my kids when we're out here. She's got a heart of fucking gold, mate. Heart of gold. I don't get this system. I don't get how there's Judge Levy sitting down in this court this week reading Josie's paperwork. Like, how does he not have a heart to say, we took this girl when she was 4. You know what the fuck she's been through already. And now I'm gonna rub a stamp to take her baby and give her some fucking friend family here where I'm here. How can I leave knowing she's here? Because I know where she is. Oh, Portsmouth, I've been dropping Josie off at Contact, mate. Don't think I wasn't stupid. You know full well I found my own kids and you moved them. Just don't take her. I need every forced adoption community person to become like a door person for their local adoption agency. Just somebody that hovers, is about, maybe even gets a job in there and just stays very quiet for quite a while. For all of us. For all of us. We've all got our kids' national insurance numbers. We've all got our kids' birth certificates. I mean, look at these bastards. Look what I found in the bins. The council, the bastards. Like, where is it? Look. Just thrown away a birth certificate. Threw it away like it's nothing. These are these people, they're taking their kids and evicting them. And this is what I said in my live on Crackbook back on the 11th of December. I remember it. I said, I've got to get my kids off this ship. It is sinking. They are taking people's kids and I don't know what to do. I arrived on the 28th of October, went to see them, talked to them, explained who I was, what I was doing, why I'd been in the media, about my conditions, how long I needed. I had a strategy, a plan. I knew what I needed. I needed that 2 years because for going self-employed, you need 2 years books. I needed that 2 years. I wanted to get access to my foster care file. I wanted to take people to court. I knew what I was doing. And then I hear these screams. And this one mum, she was deaf. So her screams were like, something else. And it would echo over the farm that was behind us. Even when I used to be coming out because I had a car, I arrived in an Audi. It was a hire car from Avis. I even arrived in this hire car. So how the fuck can they tell the judge that I hired a car to go and kidnap my kids? They even said that I assaulted a BBC reporter on there, and Edna, and it's not true. It's not true at all. It's not true at all. It's not true at all. They even got one of the residents to write a report claiming that she was staff and that I had confessed to going and kidnapping my kids. I'm not saying that I haven't thought about it. Of course I did. I still do. Still think about murdering these people. Of course I do. My shrink thinks it's normal. You know, why wouldn't it be normal? In fact, he said that if I didn't say it to him, he would be more concerned, because then he would know that I was actually plotting to do it. It's the fact that I tell him that it's the fact that it diffuses. It's a bubble. That's what he calls it, the bubble. It's like, you know, it's a complete normal reaction, but people are still not getting to the core that Aaron and Faith, they were kidnapped, they were taken, stolen, ripped from my soul, from my heart, from my life, my world. I was ripped out of my life, out of my foundations, my home, everything, because of these people. How the fuck can I listen over these next few days knowing that Josie can't communicate with me at all? She can't speak to me at all. The courts will lock her down, have her, gag her. She has to abide by everything that they do, everything that they say, knowing full well. And I've told her this as well. I've told her, Josie, you do not react to these orders. You don't react in court. You don't react. And she knows. I'll find her. We will pass. I'll find her. There'll be somewhere that we will cross. But we cannot be seen to even communicate, because if we do, then she would be held in contempt of court. They do this to all the mums that come to me. So I've told Josie, don't react, because this is not it. You've got 21 days to appeal. If you don't get it in them 21 days, don't worry, because you can do a late appeal. It's not a problem, but you've got to appeal. It's not you have to. And she's already got so many grounds, so she hasn't got to worry. She's just got to get that appeal in and get them grounds in and get back to the judge and do it calmly. How the fuck do you stay calm when someone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 officials come into your home and rip your children out of bed and then ask you to stand before a judge maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, even 3 months later? Oh, Judge Levy, I pray by the grace of the Lord that whatever crust, shit and fucking bollocks that you've got round your heart, that you open up your heart to Josie and you give her the floor and you let her speak and sing in that court. She's only 18. She's only 18. I will absolutely floor any campaigner, any parent that contacts that girl and fills her head with shit about what could be, what may be, and what might happen to her daughter. She is already battling with the fact that they've referred to the foster parent as mum, that 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 they've called her little girl. You know, she's thinking about her daughter's first birthday. And even worse, through COVID. Through COVID, they're doing things through like courts, family courts now through COVID. You don't even actually go to court. They do these conference calls where they tell you like, yes, and you must turn your speaker things off. And it's like having the spoon. You may talk. You only get like 3 minutes and 32 seconds to say, but you cannot say this and you cannot say that. And they only actually record what is relevant to the tick boxes, and all information is dismissed. What? How do you build a correct picture? Look, take me for instance. Look, I don't know how long you've been watching me, how long you've been following me for, how long you've watched my lives or my videos, how long you consider yourself a supporter, even a friend or somebody I may even know, you know, having a perception of me. And look at that time. Well, then ask your doctor to know who you are within 5 minutes, a social worker to know who you are within, what, a 32-minute problem meeting. Then they've got to get off to somebody else quickly and know that information, and off to somebody else and off to somebody else while dealing with the traffic, going home and sorting out whether they've got tea and foods and paying their bills and making sure that they're living month to month and getting to where they are, because they could have been struggling to get themselves through university, paying off a lot of debt, and they got to remember all this information and then regurgitate it to a judge within 40 minutes for him to make a decision on whether you ever see your children again and whether you're gagged. So this is all about contempt of court. Whether I take it out of the public arena. Well, I can talk about Josie because Josie is somebody I've known prior to the courts taking her baby off of her. This isn't somebody who's come to me as forced adoption exposed. I don't want to see Josie on forced adoption exposed. I don't want to see her baby on there. I don't want to see him on there. No. Because I can't sit back and watch, but I've got 2 beautiful boys in there I can't jeopardise. But I actually care for this little girl. And her mum. And even the dad. The rest of the family, like, leave them the fuck alone right now. Let them sort their shit out. I don't agree with this age gap between them, I don't. But there's a baby here anyway. And Josie has a right to her own home away from the state. She's working in a pub now on a Tuesday night. It's growing. She's singing. I know this. She's quickly, or somebody let me know anyway. And it jeopardises my kids if she's here or under whatever capacity because she's had a child taken from her. So now I know how, you know, how Monique used to feel when every other weekend I used to have to leave Jason's because his kids were there. And I'd go to Monique's where her kids were there. And, we, you know, people couldn't even say that they were still friends with me after my kids were taken. Like, did they even give a flying fuck about what that girl's got to go through from the moment he's rubber stamped and gone, care and placement orders, next. Care and placement orders, next. Wank, 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 wank. Where's me fuck? Care and placement orders. You're going to jail, contempt of court. Wank, 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 wank. Maybe molest a few kids. Because that's pretty much what's going on in that system. And I have to sit here and have my own hands tied. Because they are. My hands are now officially tied, really. I can't step onto what? That far across, literally, where them trees are there. You see the lights running up there.
them lights there is I think that's probation there. Oh, 2 seconds, guys. I've just got to get out of my head. I can't cope. I know I always give an hour, but like I just can't cope. I just can't cope. It's crazy. Have I got the right dress on there? Anyway, I'm going to turn this up, down even, and finish up with you guys in a minute.
where do you want my lives to take you? So where do you want me to go? I'm feeling Bali. I have friends in Bali. I'm feeling India, but I don't know if I can cope with the heat and the chaos and a lot of things. But there's some really beautiful, nice places. Just like when I went to Egypt, Cairo for me was too much. But there's another place in Egypt that's very, very, very beautiful, but I won't name it because I might end up there. Um, so yeah, where do you want your lives to take you? Your life to take you, even. So basically, it's what, 33 minutes and 10 seconds. So for those that don't know me over here on YouTube doing my lives and not used to me, I sometimes come on my lives when I've got the technology. I do. And I love it. I love it. It helps me. So as you can see, I find that the emotion that you see in terms of my tears and that's genuine, and that lives inside me 24/7 for my own children, for some of my own youth and parts of my life, but I don't really have the trauma with them things. I have the trauma with dealing with the future, because it doesn't matter where I go in the world, Aaron and Faith are never not a part of me, neither Liam, and that's always going to be a grief for me. I've always grieved my mum and my dad and my family. That was hard enough to live, raising children, having to grieve what you can't give your children in terms of family. It doesn't matter what I gave them in terms of trainers and their home and their space and their environment and branded clothes and all of that stuff. I couldn't give them a granddad. I couldn't give them a nan. I couldn't give them uncles and aunts and all of that sort of thing. And that's the only really thing that matters in life, really. And the be all and end all of it is, we're just not taught how to deal with the conflicts in our families, and some demons are so deep rooted, and sometimes people do things that are just so bad, and we just don't have those boundaries. And it was an older time and an older generation, which is why we have a chance now to lay a new platform, new foundations, not something on sand, but something solid for our future generations. I want to, as a mother now, create something with my boys, the two that are home with me now, and still for my other two, but for my two others, they're independent now. I can help in some way, but I don't really know how, in terms of having a really nice place that they can come and see me at Christmas, and that's probably about it, because they're independent, they're doing amazing, they're great. Liam's a bit stressed, and now I've got my phone back, he can chat to mummy, and that's fine. So hopefully I get the website up, hopefully I get my book finished, hopefully in a time frame that's suitable for me. Hope is a silly little wimmy thing, because I should be doing it, it's a must to do, but I'm struggling, of course I'm struggling, because I'm having to battle these nonsense stupid letters by the council. Let me read it to you. Oh, this is my parking one. So this is about, I owe £123 for my parking space. And as I have said, I'm not willing. Okay, so Google this. I live at 12 Edgbaston House, Sedgley Close. My parking bay is at 34 Ivy Close. And it's against the wall. And I've said, it just goes to show, I park it over here still. I said, it just goes to show how you don't understand that I have to live this every day, 24/7. And I choose to do it like this. But unfortunately, my iPhone and my own body tend to run out of this. And my life can be as complicated as having to work on a laptop where the keys don't work, not all of them. So then I've also still got to plug in a keyboard, and then to run the telly, I've got it plugged into a laptop. But I'm having to work with what I've got, with where I am, rather than just sitting down and going, I can't. How? I don't know how I'm going to do this. But I know full well that I can't allow, and the people that know what's going on can't all sit back and allow for this mother to go through this, and the father and the family, because this family have been going through it. A family that came here from Poland, sorry, and have had their children taken and forced adopted. And I believe
that the mother and father potentially only got into drugs because of what's going on, and that it probably wasn't this amazing experience that they were going to have. And I just feel that while we have a chance to be self isolated right now, that we can have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful relationship with ourselves. We don't need to hold our mum and our dad's hand to go down to the beach by ourselves and just sit there and enjoy the view. You know, you don't need your family and friends around you to be able to enjoy your own company. If you can't enjoy your own company, then you can't expect other people to enjoy that company with you. I have an amazing, beautiful time when I'm out, by the way. So to my family and my friends that aren't with me, fuck you. You know, I co-create with the universe out there, and actually in Portsmouth, we probably know quite a lot of people and spend quite a lot of time with people, insiders and outsiders, people who come here and then go, and people who are still here. So, and things are coming together. You know, I've been here 4.5 years. Did I just get a round of applause from one of my neighbours? I think I did. That's really weird. Is someone sitting underneath my balcony? You know, so and I am actually thinking of asking them to put me in a 2-bed, because they're knocking this building down in 10 years' time. So I am actually thinking of asking the council to move me up higher and running MP for here. But I don't see why not. I've got nothing else better to do right now. So, and it gets me doing things that I really like to do, because as the MP, I can open up the common and have a festival, and as the MP, I can open up the things and let this happen, and as the MP, I can, do you know what I mean? So why not? So anyway, I've got literally less than 70 seconds left of my hour. Um, there he is. There's someone down. This is so strange. This is so really, really, really weird. And something even oh, fucking hell. I've just had to come away because, oh, my windows are open. Fuck, come in my bathroom with me. I'd just like to see my bathroom. Come in my bathroom with me. Oh my goodness, literally before I go, did you hear that clap? I'm going to go back onto my live and see if I heard that. I'm sure I heard a clap. It wasn't my imagination. So anyway, it turns out that somebody's actually sitting underneath the building work. How are you cutting my internet? Right, am I here? This is not good. How? How is this happening? I'm on my phone. This is not funny now. I'm on my phone. I'm on full-blown internet on O2 giffgaff. I have unlimited internet, unlimited things. There is no reason whatsoever moving around this house. I've completely fucking tested it. Everything from G3. I haven't got G5 here, but apparently G5 has been installed here now. But there is absolutely no bloody reason for my technology to play me up now. So I expect there to be no issues from this point now on. I don't know how I'm going to work this now, because obviously when I'm on Crackbook, I don't just live, I post pictures and I write things and I write blogs. So I do quite a bit. So I don't quite know. And then obviously they just get uploaded to YouTube. So people who are just watching my YouTubes don't get the whole thing. So you don't get me sharing out other people's lives, other people's videos. You don't get all the full content. But because I'm gagged, I need to come on Bill Gates' platform, and I need to strategically manipulate the internet per se. So anyway, I've got a lot of pages going over, and I'm going to be shutting some stuff down, opening some stuff up, but it's all based on whether or not this tech guy can work with me to get everything up and running. I'm spending time doing other stuff as well. I mean, I'm dabbling around and, you know, doing all my things, and I've got a few different art projects going on in the house at the moment, because obviously I was painting over this wall here. So, yeah, a bit spooked out at the moment, a bit weird. So anyway, it's a new platform, but I didn't get on with the Crackbook platform. It was doing my nut in. And with all this flashy thing that was going on, it was crazy. Um, I have to say, I can't deal with Android. I am an iPhone girl. So I guess it's what's his name? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs all the way. Yeah, you know, I'm an iPhone girl. I love it. I love the platform, and that's where I'm going to stay. I think I'm going to stay with GoDaddy. I don't know. I've got people telling me to go over to Foursquares, but ideally, I want my own mainframe, my own sort of thing. And apparently, it can still be taken down because it's in the Ethernet, but I have more controls over what can be edited, what can be done, and whether it just gets taken down because I haven't paid the bill. Do you know what I mean? That's different. So once I've created it, I just don't have them bills to pay. And it's them bills that I have to pay in terms of them things that are causing me issues every month, because that's how I lost Forced Adoption Exposed. That's how the websites, that's how I lost the Step Up Britain. So all of them things, Home for a House, all of these things have all fallen away, all of the community ins, because I've lost and they've put them up at stupid prices as well. So anyway, I'm sure somebody will be a cunt and buy some of them out, whatever, do it. It will be in my book that you're a wanker. So, yeah, anyway, I'm going to bugger off. I'm assuming and hoping just don't get a good signal in the bathroom, and that's the problem. But I need to find out who's down there. That was really weird. They're sitting down under there, and he nearly landed. I can't turn this thing off now because I'm in the bedroom. I'm like, oh, look at this bug. Look. Can you see them? I don't know if you can see them because it's dark in here, but aren't they beautiful? As she says, whispering when I've been dancing around with the music on. Anyway, Dad's a DJ. So anyway, guys, catch you later. And I'm going to see you intermittently. Now I've got my phone back down at the beach, going and speaking with the MPs. And also, now I've got my phone, all the recordings with social and everything that goes on from here. Some of it might even be live.